The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, written by Mark Manson, offers practical advice on how to live a happier and less stressful life by caring about fewer things. The book provides simple rules to help you identify what is truly important in your life and what you should give a fuck about. It is common for people to give too much importance to things that do not matter and overlook the things that do. The book helps you to recognize these patterns and shift your focus towards what truly matters. The book has been incredibly successful, having sold over 13 million copies and being the most read nonfiction book on Amazon in 2017. Mark Manson, the author, is an American self-help author and blogger who gained popularity with his dating advice blog in 2008. He later started a blog called Post-Masculine, which provided general life advice for men. The article titled, "The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck," on this blog was so well received that Manson turned it into a book, which went on to become a New York Times bestseller. Manson's work has been featured in several news outlets and publications, including NBC, CNN, Fox News, the BBC, Time magazine, and more. His work has been translated into over 60 languages. In October 2018, Penguin Random House announced that Manson would work with Will Smith to write the actor's autobiography. Overall, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck is a valuable resource for anyone looking to simplify their life and focus on what truly matters. By following Manson's advice, you can learn to care about the things that are important to you and let go of the rest, leading to a happier and more fulfilling life. Idea 1. In modern society, we are often told that the key to happiness, success, and fulfillment is to constantly pursue satisfaction. However, this approach can lead to feelings of inadequacy and an unfulfilled life. Bukowski, a famous author, knew this all too well. Despite being rejected by publishers for years, he accepted himself for who he was, and this self-acceptance is what drew people to him in his work. The idea of constantly pursuing satisfaction goes against the backwards law, introduced by the British philosopher Alan Watts. This law suggests that the more we chase positive experiences, the less satisfied we become. Constantly seeking satisfaction reinforces the notion that we lack it in the first place. Manson rephrases this idea by saying that pursuing positive experiences is a negative experience, while accepting negative experiences is a positive experience. In other words, the acceptance of negative experiences can lead to positive outcomes. By embracing difficult situations, we can learn from them and grow as individuals, which ultimately leads to a more fulfilling life. Instead of constantly chasing satisfaction, we should focus on what truly matters and accept the challenges that come with it. By doing so, we can create positive experiences through the tolerance of negative experiences. Idea 2. In our modern society, there is an obsession with the idea that we are all unique. This belief has led to entitlement and the expectation that everything should go right for us all the time. Manson argues that this mentality has created a self-absorbed society that fails to accept reality. Entitlement is characterized by the belief that one deserves happiness without sacrificing for it. There are two types of entitlement: grandiose narcissism and victim narcissism. Both types are deluded about their position in the social hierarchy and expect everything to be catered to benefit them. This mentality can be traced back to a study from the late 1960s that correlated positive self-image with life accomplishments. Based on this study, policymakers started to use tactics like participation prizes and unattainable goals to motivate children. However, Manson argues that this approach has created a society that does not accept reality and fails to use challenges as stepping stones toward success. Rather than believing in our uniqueness, Manson encourages individuals to accept their flaws and challenges. By accepting reality and using challenges as opportunities for growth, we can develop resilience and ultimately achieve greater success and fulfillment in life. Idea 3. According to Manson, accepting reality as it is means acknowledging that life is not always easy, and we will face challenges and obstacles. Rather than striving for constant happiness, we should embrace the ups and downs of life and use them to grow and develop. It is important to take ownership of our emotions and recognize that managing negative emotions is an ongoing process. Manson also emphasizes the concept of the hedonic treadmill, which suggests that once we achieve a goal or acquire something we desire, we quickly become accustomed to it and begin seeking something else. This can lead to a never-ending cycle of chasing happiness without ever truly feeling satisfied. Instead, Manson suggests focusing on solving problems and embracing the challenges that come with them. By doing so, we can cultivate a fulfilling and meaningful life. Idea 4. Happiness can be approached through a scientific method. This means that we can treat our values as hypotheses and our actions as experiments to collect data and make smart decisions based on results. Instead of being afraid of uncertainty, we should embrace it as it helps us learn and understand that our values are not perfect. Embracing uncertainty also helps us avoid extremist ideologies and prevent the judgment and stereotyping of others. Therefore, we can see happiness as an ongoing process that requires experimentation, evaluation, and continuous refinement. Idea 5. Values are the guiding principles that determine our actions, attitudes, and behaviors. Manson emphasizes that having good values is essential for happiness. Good values are those that are based on reality, internally achieved, and socially constructive. In contrast, bad values are those that focus on chasing empty pleasure and believing that one is always right. Manson uses the example of Japanese soldiers stranded on Pacific Islands during World War II to illustrate the importance of having the correct values and goals. These soldiers continued to fight the war, even though it had already ended, and were destined to fail. Similarly, without good values, no matter how strong or intelligent we are destined to fail. Manson also shares the example of guitarist Dave Mustaine, who was kicked out of Metallica just before their big break. Mustaine went on to start his band Megadeth and sold over 25 million records. However, he continued to compare himself to Metallica, and his success was not enough to make him happy. In contrast, Pete Best, who was also kicked out of a world-renowned band, the Beatles, realized that music was more important than success. Best had good values, which allowed him to find happiness despite not achieving the same level of success as the Beatles. In conclusion, having good values is essential for happiness. Good values are based on reality, internally achieved, and socially constructive, while bad values focus on chasing empty pleasure and believing that one is always right. Without good values, no matter how successful one may appear to be, they will not find true happiness. Idea 6. Taking responsibility means not blaming others for your problems or situations. It means accepting that you have control over your life and the choices you make. When you take responsibility, you empower yourself to take action and make changes. Manson argues that taking responsibility is crucial for achieving happiness because it allows you to focus on finding solutions rather than dwelling on problems. By taking responsibility, you can also learn from your mistakes and avoid repeating them in the future. Ultimately, taking responsibility means taking ownership of your life and actively working towards a happier, more fulfilling existence. Idea 7. Manson emphasizes that we often have a choice in how we respond to life's events, and our emotional response can greatly impact our overall happiness and success. It's important to understand that we may not always have control over what happens to us, but we do have control over how we respond to those situations. By taking responsibility for our reactions and emotions, we can learn to better deal with problems and failures in our lives. Manson suggests that successful people are those who can choose how they respond to life's events, rather than being controlled by their emotions. By recognizing and taking responsibility for our emotional responses, we can better understand ourselves and our values, and make decisions that align with those values. This can lead to a more fulfilling and meaningful life, even in the face of adversity. Idea 8. Manson encourages us to adopt a mindset of continuous improvement by doubting our beliefs and challenging our assumptions. This involves recognizing that our understanding of the world is limited and that we are capable of being wrong. Manson provides historical examples, such as the belief in a flat Earth, to demonstrate that our knowledge and understanding of the world evolves over time. By acknowledging that we may be wrong, we open ourselves up to new ideas and perspectives, which can lead to personal growth and development. Manson suggests that we ask ourselves challenging questions, such as, what if I'm wrong? And what would it mean if I were wrong? To help us critically evaluate our beliefs and assumptions. In essence, Manson's message is that it's important to approach life with an open mind and a willingness to learn and adapt. By doubting our beliefs and embracing uncertainty, we can cultivate a growth mindset that allows us to continually improve and evolve over time. Idea 9. By reducing our sense of identity and ego, we become more open to new ideas and opportunities. This helps us to grow and develop as individuals. Manson argues that we need to be open to the possibility that we might be wrong about our beliefs and ideas. This requires us to be humble and to accept that we don't have all the answers. When we reduce our ego, we become more receptive to feedback and criticism, which can help us to improve our performance and learn from our mistakes. To reduce our ego, we must let go of our attachment to our beliefs and opinions. We should be willing to challenge our assumptions and consider different perspectives. This can be uncomfortable and even painful, but it is necessary if we want to grow and evolve as individuals. By questioning our beliefs and assumptions, we create space for new ideas and possibilities to emerge. Ultimately, reducing our ego requires us to embrace uncertainty and to be comfortable with the unknown. We must be willing to take risks and to experiment with new ideas and approaches. By doing so, we can discover new talents and abilities that we never knew we had. This helps us to become more resilient and adaptable, which is essential in today's fast-paced and constantly changing world. Idea 10. Manson highlights the importance of failure as an integral part of the journey towards improvement. Failure is a necessary step towards mastery in any field, as it provides valuable feedback and helps us refine our approach. In fact, Manson argues that thousands of failures are often required to become an expert in anything. Therefore, a fear of failure can prevent us from taking the necessary risks to achieve success and can lead to stagnation. By embracing failure as a natural part of the learning process, we can overcome our fears and continue to improve through perseverance and persistence. Remember, every failure is an opportunity to learn and grow, so instead of fearing failure, we should embrace it as a key to our improvement. Idea 11. Manson's "do something" principle suggests that taking action, even if it's not perfect, is better than doing nothing at all. This approach can be especially useful when facing a problem or feeling stuck. Instead of waiting for motivation to strike, taking action can actually create the motivation needed to keep going. Manson credits his high school math teacher for introducing him to this principle. By encouraging his students to rewrite a problem when they didn't know the answer, the teacher taught Manson to take action and move forward. By applying this principle to all areas of his life, Manson has learned that doing something, even if it's not perfect, is often the key to overcoming challenges and achieving success. Idea 12. Manson's idea of saying no to certain things to allow for a greater commitment to something else is based on the principle of prioritization. By saying no to certain things, you can create more space and time in your life for the things that truly matter to you. This means being selective about where you invest your energy and time. If you are always saying yes to everything, you might find yourself spread too thin and unable to give your best to any one thing. Manson argues that saying no is not a negative thing, but rather a positive and empowering choice. It allows you to be more intentional with your decisions and enables you to say yes to things that align with your values and goals. When you reject certain alternatives, you are actively choosing a particular path and committing to it. This can bring greater satisfaction and fulfillment in the long run. Summary. In The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, Manson challenges the traditional self-help industry's approach to finding happiness and success. He argues that constantly searching for more will ultimately leave us feeling unfulfilled and unhappy. Instead, Manson suggests that we need to learn how to choose what to give a fuck about. This doesn't mean that we should be indifferent or apathetic. Rather, we should be comfortable with being different and prioritize what's truly important to us. Manson outlines 3 subtleties that define the art of not giving a fuck. The first subtlety is that not giving a fuck doesn't mean being indifferent. It means embracing our uniqueness and being comfortable with who we are, even if it means going against the norm. The second subtlety is that to not give a fuck about adversity, we need to prioritize something more important than the adversity itself. Finally, Manson reminds us that we are always choosing what to give a fuck about, whether we realize it or not. Therefore, it's crucial to be mindful of what we prioritize and choose to care about. Now, thank you for taking the time to watch, and if you found value in this video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel for more great content. Trust me, you won't regret it.